Hello, everyone, and welcome to Speak Up Sis Talk Show. This is the place where authors, especially Christian authors, have an opportunity to share the word of their testimony through their written works in order to inspire you to open up your mouth and share yours. I am your host, Angel Charmaine, and tonight I've got another awesome author. She is new to writing, but her work is amazing. She almost feels kind of like a little mini me. So I love her work, and I'm so excited to bring her work to you tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her into the space. But before I do that, if you are watching on YouTube, I would love for you to click the subscribe button and become a part of the Speak Up Sis YouTube family. We are here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to share new indie authors with you. And we are here on Monday nights for Speak Up Sis podcast, where we share stories of everyday people to inspire yours. So please subscribe to our Speak Up Sis YouTube channel and join our family. So let's go ahead and bring up our guest for the night. How are you doing, Ashalee?
Hi, Angel. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for coming into the space and sharing yourself as well as your work with us.
Yes, I am
So,
absolutely excited to be here.
yeah, I am excited to have you here, and I know you all can hear a little bit of an accent, probably more than a little bit. Um, so before we get started, I would like for you to share a little bit about who you are with our listeners and our viewers. Is that okay?
Yes, that's
All right.
absolutely fine. All right, so hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Ashalee Bingham, and I am the author and publisher of the book, The Lies I Told Myself. Um, I am from the beautiful island of Jamaica, as you can tell by my accent. Uh, I am also a business owner, so I operate a travel agent business here in Jamaica. I'm a travel independent travel agent, so I book travel locally and internationally as well. I am a fun-loving person. I like to think of myself as a mama's girl. My mother is my absolute best friend. Um, I am a food lover for life. I absolutely love food. I love cooking it. I love eating it. I love restaurant hopping with my friends. And my favorite pastime is, watching cooking shows or looking at new recipes. I am full of joy and laughter. I love to laugh, as you can probably tell by now. I enjoy the simple things of life. I love to travel. I love to meet new people, and I'm really just really looking forward to experiencing new things, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Listen, that's a lot, and that's good. One thing I love about my guests when you all get into this space is that you feel comfortable and confident to just open your mouth and speak up. That's what
Yeah.
this space is about. So tonight we're going to allow you to just speak all you want about the lies
Mm-hmm.
that we all tell ourselves,
Yes.
So let's go ahead and jump into this. And before we do that, though, we've got some guests tonight. So let's
Awesome.
welcome them. And then we will get right on into this. I'm gonna put my spectacles on tonight so that I can actually read. Hello, Chris. How you doing? Chris Balinas is one of my assistants. She's in the building tonight. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Chris. Hello, Kadeen. Good evening. How you doing? Thank you for joining us tonight. And we've got Colleen. Good evening. How are you? Thank you for joining us tonight as well. And Carmen is here as well. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. So, you wrote a book.
Mm-hmm.
You wrote a book. And this book is entitled The Lies I Told Myself. Before we jump into the book, let's just talk a little bit about these lies. Do you think we all tell lies about ourselves, or is that just a you thing?
Oh, I'm certainly sure it's not just a me thing. I think we all tell ourselves lies, really and truly. It's something that gives us comfort. I feel, when we actually tell ourselves something that isn't necessarily true.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely something that everybody, I think, deals with from time to time.
So, what made you decide I'm going to write a book about the lies? Before we even jump into why you would write this book, when did you realize that what you were telling yourself were lies? Because I'm sure you weren't thinking that as you were telling them.
Oh no. Oh no. So it's it's funny because this book came about in a time of my life when I was going through a whole lot of change. Uh 2020, I think, hit a lot of us very hard. And for me, it kind of took me out of my routine of doing things. After leaving university, I immediately went into the hotel industry to work. And I worked myself up to the Department of Wedding Planning. And so I had become used to working day in, day out for 7 years. And wedding planning can be very demanding. So to have myself be in that routine for so long and then transition into a period where it was almost a period of nothingness. So I had to sit with myself for the first time. And I was very unsure about what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I had a time that I could actually sit and look at my past and what I had done and where I was currently at that time and where I wanted to go. And I really didn't like what I saw, because I realized that when I looked at my past and
Mm-hmm.
how my life was, I didn't accomplish much.
Oh.
I really didn't accomplish much. I was just working every single day. I would go to work, come home, rest a little bit, go back to work. And it was that routine. I literally felt, I call it my hamster wheel. I literally felt like I was on a hamster wheel and I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't going anywhere.
Yep. I
So,
think a lot of times people um, think that because they're busy, that they're actually being productive.
yes.
Busy doesn't necessarily mean productive.
Mm-mm.
And that's what I think about when you say you felt like you were the hamster in the hamster wheel, like you're
Yep.
constantly moving. The wheel is spinning, but you're actually not
Not going anywhere.
getting anywhere
Nope.
different.
Yep. So that's really, that's when I stopped and look at my life, that's really what it was. And I wasn't happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt lost almost. I mean, while I was working, I did feel there were times when I felt stuck. But I
Mm-hmm.
was so busy that the thought came, but it went because I had something else to do and I had to get that done. So I didn't have enough time to look at my life to say, okay, Ashalee, what do you want to do? Like
Mm-hmm.
this, this isn't just it. There
Right.
has to be more. but what do you want to do? But I couldn't answer that question while I was busy in my regular 9 to 5.
Right.
So when I came to this point in my life where everything literally stopped, right? And with my usual self, I'm the type of person that really likes to keep busy. So even though I wasn't working, I still try to find things that would have kept me busy during that time. But then what I found was that nothing was working. So I would get involved. Well, I started writing a blog in the initial stage, which kept me really busy at first. And then after that, I started getting into like network marketing, and that kept me a little busy as well. But then I didn't feel as if I was fulfilling what God placed me on this earth to do. And that bothered me. So I came to a point where I had to say, okay, I was praying to God for him to, help me to be successful in what I was doing at the time. But then I realized I was doing so much again and nothing was happening. So I was like, okay, God, I need you to show me what it is that I need to be doing. What can I do? What is I started questioning, what is my purpose? And so it was at that time that I kind of slowed down all that I was doing. And I started, I got closer to God. I made it a point of duty during that time to seek him more. And I think that was part of the reason why I am where I am now. I got into that point where I started listening. I wasn't just hearing everything around me, but I started to make it my point of duty to listen. And that's when my mother has always told me she wanted me to write a book of poems. But for me, because writing is something that I've always loved to do from a child. I love to journal. I kept diaries. I would write poems and send it to the local newspaper. So writing was something that I really enjoyed. But for me to say I was going to write a book of poems, for me, I was like, who's going to read my book of poems? Like, nobody cares.
People read books of poems.
Right? So it was in my blogging. An uncle of mine got interested in my blogging, and he started encouraging me to also write. So I guess hearing that I should write from another person kind of made it a little bit more serious for me.
Right.
Still, I didn't know what I was gonna write, but I decided to look into it a little bit more. Had a little bit more discussion about it, and then all of a sudden one day I was on my bed lying down, and the thought came to me that there are a lot of things that we tell ourselves that aren't true. The thought just popped up in my mind.
Right.
And I said, that's interesting. And I got up and I looked to my mom. She was in the kitchen at the time. And I said to her, Mom, the lies I told myself, I think that should be the title of a book I need to write. And she was like, why the lies I told myself? And I'm like, yep, that's the book I need to write. And I think why it resonated with me so much is because when I looked back at my life and how it had been, I started thinking about the things that I told myself I couldn't do, and how that held me back from the things that I wanted to do.
Right.
But I refused to, because I told myself that I couldn't.
Right.
I limited myself in so many ways, and excuses for me, and that's the first chapter. Excuses for me was the biggest one.
And that is exactly, there are a few that I want to actually take a look at tonight, if that's okay with you.
Yes, sure.
So at the very beginning, and there are several people who have jumped on to join in the discussion tonight. Welcome, everyone. We're going to, if I don't greet you directly, count it to the fact that I want to be all in this conversation and not that I just don't want to say hello. Hello, Horace, and thank you for joining us tonight. So listen, let me get my book. Let me get my book, because now it's time for us to talk about these lies. Yeah. Because when we are in the moment saying these things to ourselves, we don't realize that they're lies. They feel very true.
Yeah.
They feel very true. And so the very first one, and your book, I told you when we first, before we got on camera, is that it reminds me so much of my own writing. You feel like a little mini me, and I absolutely love it. I fell in love with every bit of it, and I was like, that's true, that's true, that's true, that's true, right? And I believe I got you on some age too. I believe I'm older than you, and at the same time, I'm going, that's true, that's true. It's not a book for just for young. Yeah. No. I believe we all tell ourselves these lies.
Yeah.
So the very first one that you talk about is it's not an excuse. Oh my goodness. I have a friend, whenever we would talk about something, if I was asked about something, before I could say it, my friend would say, hold up, before you answer, is this going to be an excuse or a reason? And I'll be like, what are you trying to like? Because what she's trying to say is, whatever you're about to say, come on, whether you call it an excuse or whether you call it a reason, you're still not doing it. Right?
Yep.
But excuses feel so real. Why was this big for you? You said this was like your number one, and it is actually your chapter one.
Yeah.
So why was excuses a big lie for you?
Excuses was the biggest lie for me because it's the source of my limitation. That's where I feel most comfortable, because it gives me literally an excuse. It gives me a reason to say, this is why, or this is why I can't. And so I think when I look at, because, for example, procrastinating for me is another thing where it's part of the excuse as well, because you feel like, okay, I'm not gonna do it just yet. It can wait till tomorrow, or I can wait to do that another time, or I don't have what I need to do that now. So yeah, let me hold on to this a little bit longer. And so because of that, we delay the things that we want to do in life. And then we get to a point, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years go by just like that. And then the very things that we wanted to accomplish doesn't get accomplished.
Right.
It stays as a dream or a desire that we have. And then we end up with regrets.
Yes.
So it's really, for me, the source of where my life stems from.
Yeah.
Because it usually begins with an excuse. I didn't do that because of that, or this is why.
I don't have enough money. Right?
Yeah.
I don't have the time.
Right.
I'm so busy.
Yep.
All of those are I think those are very common excuses, right?
Yeah.
Or, these kids, or my husband, or there's always something.
Yep.
Right. And you're right. It just turns your dreams into deferred dreams that will cause regret, or like Langston Hughes says, right? Maybe you'll explode at some point
Oh, yes.
Yes, right.
Oh,
And
yes.
everyone's wondering what's your problem, and it's
Mm-hmm.
because you've been lying to yourself.
Yep.
That's a good
Yep.
one. That's a good one. I'm going to tell you another one that I thought was like, oh, this is a good one. Another lie we tell ourselves is that there's nothing extraordinary about me.
Ah, yeah.
I think this is one of those uh, lies we learn early.
Mm-hmm.
We learn early in life,
Yeah.
right? As little girls and little boys, somewhere we get this idea that there's nothing really great about
Mm-hmm.
me. Like, she's great. She can play basketball. He can
Yes.
sing. Like, oh wow, she's such a great dancer.
Mm-hmm.
But me,
Mm.
there's nothing
Yeah.
extraordinary about me.
Yeah. And then we sit and we compare ourselves, like you just we sit and we look at other persons, and we put them on a pedestal
Mhm.
even, and think that, okay, yeah, they can achieve it, but for me, I don't really think that it's possible. Why not? I got to a point where I asked myself, why am I doubting myself? If he or she can do it, why can't I? There's no I don't believe that any of us are any we aren't less special in any way. We were all made to be extraordinary people, to do extraordinary things.
Yes.
And I think God has purposed each and every one of us lives for different reasons, but not because I'm doing a particular thing, not because I'm writing, doesn't mean if I'm a good writer, it doesn't take away from you being a good writer
Right.
also. So how I may structure my thing, maybe poems is something that I'm really good at, but
Mhm.
telling stories is something that you're really good at. It
Right.
doesn't take away from me, neither does it take away from you, because we all have our own strengths. But we
Exactly.
have this thing about us where we get so caught up with comparing ourselves to other persons that we take the attention off of ourselves, and we forget about who we are because we are so focused on what the other person is doing. And it doesn't mean that we can't admire somebody else. It doesn't mean that we can't strive to be in a particular place or a level that they are.
Mhm.
But it's not a case where we should denounce our abilities, or say to ourselves that we are not capable, because we
Right.
are.
Yes.
We're more than capable.
More than capable.
Mm-hmm.
And 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 because this is Speak Up Sis Talk Show, the place where Christian, hallelujah,
Yeah.
Christian, independent and self-published authors show up to share their testimonies via their work. I'm gonna throw out there that that good book does not say that there's one of us that was fearfully and wonderfully made, right? We
Mm-hmm.
were all fearfully and wonderfully made. We were
Yep.
all designed and purposed
Mm-hmm.
before we were placed in our mother's womb. Not
Right.
one of us, but all of
All of
us,
us.
right? There is
Yep.
a good plan for all of our lives, for all of our futures, right? Not
Right.
just one, not just one.
Mm-hmm.
And when we think about, even as believers, being a part of a larger body, and we think about the physical body, like what is the nose? If the nose says, "Oh, there's nothing extraordinary about me," you're a mouth. You get, but without this nose, right? We're gonna have
Exactly.
some issues.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like, oh my gosh, you get to be a whole hand and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a pinky. And you're like,
Yeah.
but this hand wouldn't operate so well without
Yeah.
the pinky, or the ligaments or the tendons or the muscles, the sinews, all the things you can't see. but they are
Exactly.
still so necessary and extraordinary in their own right.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
listen, that is a huge lie straight
Mhm.
from the pits of hell,
Mhm.
that I believe many of us believe in. I remember being in high school, and maybe a teacher or someone asked, like, what, what are you good at, Angel? What can you do? And I was like, no, what's your talent? It's like, I don't have a talent. I wasn't athletic. I wasn't a sports person. I love singing, but I ain't get that voice. I only sound good in the shower, or the windows rolled up. But anyway, um, yeah. So I love to dance, but I'm not a trained dancer or anything like that. So I was like, I don't have, like, there's nothing extraordinary about me. There's nothing, I don't really have any talents. And I grew
Yeah.
up thinking that about myself. It didn't happen until, shoot, about 40,
Mm.
when the Lord, had to sort of shape me and say, your gift is in your voice. Open up your mouth and talk.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that being an encourager, being able to heal a person just by using my words, being able to, edify people just by talking to them. I didn't realize that my voice was a gift.
Mhm.
That not everyone can do what I do. I didn't realize that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it took me becoming an older, seasoned woman to realize that there is something extraordinary about me as well. So even adults struggle with this particular lie. And
Yep.
it is a lie straight from the pits of hell. We gonna
Definitely is.
call a spade a spade. How about that? So
Yep.
here's another one. Where is it? Hold on a second. Did I move it? Hold on a second. I moved past it. I really want to touch on this one. Oh, this is how it will be forever. Ain't
Mhm.
never gonna get better.
Oh my goodness. It's crazy because I mean, life changes, things change, life changes. But it's up to us to, again, not stay stuck on that hamster wheel, because sometimes we are the ones that keep ourselves stuck. We keep ourselves stuck, and then we say, oh, but it's not getting better. But we don't realize that we're the ones to blame for that. And funny thing is that we'll sometimes blame other persons for that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really up to us to move forward and to step out of our comfort zones. Because as I said before, when I was looking during that time of my life, when I was looking at what I had gone through, and I think to myself, if it is that I didn't stop, if everything didn't come to a halt, would I still be stuck in
Mm,
that place thinking that it's not going to get better because I didn't open my eyes and see what else I could have been doing with my life so that I could feel fulfilled?
yeah.
um it's trust me, it's definitely something that I've come to the realization that we have that control.
Yes.
We have that control to move. I literally I've always been that type of person to look at another person and
Mm-hmm.
say, I wish I could do that,
Mm-hmm.
but then I didn't do anything about it.
Mm.
I didn't do anything about it. This for me is really literally me stepping out of my comfort zone. It
If you will allow
literally
me to
is.
say, I'm going to interject right
Yes. Right.
there. If I can be the big author sister lady tonight,
Yes.
you are doing an exceptional job right now. I just
Thank
want to say
you.
that for those of you who are watching tonight, you may not even realize it, but I do believe this is Ashalee's first international interview to
Mm-hmm.
talk about her book.
Yep.
And I just want to applaud you because you are doing so well. No one
Thank
would have
you.
known. But I think you make a great point to say that, you know what? Nothing's going to change if we don't actually get out and get up out of our comfort zones, jump
Yep.
all the way out of the box.
Yep.
And that's when things begin to ebb and flow and move. And I
Mm-hmm.
think this is a great segment into the last lie we're going to cover tonight. And everyone, there are 10 of these lies in this book, and they are all very good. If we didn't touch on your lie tonight, I'm sure if you grab the book, she'll touch on one of your lies to help you stop lying to yourself and be honest with yourself, and know that all things are possible through Christ, right? So I'm not going to get all in her book. I'm just telling you, you just need to read it because it's good. It's a good book, okay? But this is going to take us into this next lie, which is sort of the opposite of the last one, or it's on the other end of the spectrum, which is it can never happen again. Sometimes we sit in a place where we think it'll always be like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then something amazing will happen, and maybe we make a misstep, or
Mm-hmm.
life just continues to move on. And then you get to a place where you go, that'll never happen again. I'll never love like that again. You know,
Mm.
maybe you're a divorced woman, or maybe
Yeah.
you're a widowed woman, right? And you're sitting in this place like, I'm never going to have that kind of love again. Or maybe you had a fabulous job, and all of a sudden there was a layoff, and now you're like, I'm never going to have a job that was that great that would pay me that kind of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or there's always something that we tell ourselves that's that thing, that feeling, that place in life. I'm never going to see that again. And that's a
Yep.
lie.
Yep. Yep.
That's a
Definitely
lie.
is.
Can we
Definitely
say
is.
that God is a God of second chances?
Oh yes. And third and fourth and fifth.
Listen, 100 and
Mhm.
111, because I mess up all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about your experience with it can never happen again. How did you get to the point where you realized that actually that's a lie?
Yeah. For me, it was more future focused than it was my present situation. It was a case where I didn't want to get to that stage where I thought it couldn't happen again. So for me, that was the case. But as you rightly said, it could be the opposite of that as well. But for me personally, it was more so looking at just thinking about the fact that I didn't want to get to age 40 or 50 or even 60 and saying to myself, I wish I had done that and I can't
Mm,
do it again. I'm too old to do this now. I'm too old to achieve this now. Um for some persons they think that they're too young, so it could be that as well. Um but really I think for me it was coming from that aspect of it, not wanting to get to that stage where I felt as though what I wanted to do I was still sitting. It's almost like when we make the New Year's resolution, right?
mhm.
And every year we keep making the same. resolution,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And eventually the time will pass and you'll get to a point where you realize that it may be too late based on the circumstances. And then again, you end up regretting it. But it also goes back to the fact that based on your situation, the possibility lies that it's not too late, right?
Exactly.
Because you okay, say for example, you've always wanted to become a doctor, and you're probably at maybe age 30 right now, maybe even 40. There are persons who have still gone
Mm-hmm.
to get their education in becoming a doctor just the same.
Mm-hmm.
So the possibility of it happening is
Mm.
still there. Once there's life, there's hope.
Yes. Yes. That's
That's
a
it right
that's a
there.
great point.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a great
really it right
perspective.
there. Yeah, because and I when I actually during the time of writing that chapter, I don't know why, but I thought about, for example, a female who believes that she's too old to have children
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And I said to myself, well, if you are at a certain age, the possibility is that you may can't physically have a child, but that doesn't mean that you cannot mother a child or
Mm.
children.
That's right.
The possibility is still there. It's just how we look at it. So I think really for whatever it is that we believe
Mm-hmm.
or still have or still desire, something that we want to do,
Mm-hmm.
we can look, maybe it's not going to come in the package that you would hope for it to come,
Mm-hmm.
but there are things and steps that you can take to at least achieve something similar,
Right.
or for you to get into that space where you can still fulfill it in some way, maybe
Right.
through someone else.
Right.
So the option is there. It's just how bad do you want it?
Right.
How badly do you want it? Do
And
you
how
want
much
to?
do you believe you can get it
Right,
or
right,
have it?
right. Exactly. Yeah.
I like
So,
that.
yeah. So
I
it's
like that
really,
perspective.
yeah, it's really again, it's really a matter of us refusing to hold ourselves back
Mm-hmm.
and limit ourselves from what is possible and from what, because at the end of, this is how I look at it, at the end of the day, I don't want to get to a stage of my life where I look back and all of the things that I hope for or dream, I didn't even get to do even a little bit of it.
Right.
I want to travel the world. I may not be able to travel the entire world, but at least I want, if I make the step to go to at least one other country
Yeah,
outside of my own country, it's a little bit of it's
that's
a
right.
taste of it, and at least I can say that I got to taste a bit of it.
That's right. I love the way you think. This is a really good book, everybody. I first thing, those of you who are watching and you know me and you know the platform, I don't put my John Hancock on too many things. I don't put my signature. I don't put my stamp on too many things. But listen, y'all, I will stamp this book. It's
Uh,
a good book. It's solid. It's well written.
Thank you.
Can't say that about a lot, but it is well written. You all will enjoy it. All of the truths that she tells, because the book is entitled "The Lies I Tell Myself," but they are all the truth. everything she says in the book, you'll find to be the honest to goodness truth. And I believe you'll see yourself in it. And if you show up to the book, if you show up to it with a teachable spirit, and you are willing to own some stuff, I think you'll walk away a little lighter. You definitely will. And I like the way the book ends. You also have some bit. I thought it was poetry. It is like after each section, there's like a little poem. Are those
It
poems?
is. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I had to put something in there for my mom.
Yes, there's like a poem that ends each section.
Yeah.
And it's just beautifully written. And I encourage every single one of you, if you have not already gotten a copy, you can most definitely get a copy. And we're going to go, let me put my spectacles on, because now I'm going to put my bossy. Can I be a boss, Ashley? I've been nice. Can I be a boss now?
Yep, go right ahead.
All right, I'm going to be a boss. At the bottom of the screen, you all see that you can purchase a copy of Ashalee's book at speakupsis.com/bookshelf. For those of you who may be new to the space, Speak Up Sis Talk Show is a part of a larger platform. It is the bookshelf. It is an actual online website where we support and we promote self-published and indie Christian authors. Ashalee's book is featured on Speak Up Sis Bookshelf. If you go to speakupsis.com/bookshelf, you can purchase her book from the bookshelf. Now, for those of you who are like, I don't want to give you no money, I want all my money to go to Ashalee. We want all your money to go to Ashalee too. Therefore, if you go to speakupsis.com/bookshelf and you click on her book, it will take you directly to where she wants you to purchase the book. The bookshelf is simply an easier way for you to access the book and find the book. We help indie authors by pulling their work off the big Amazon and Barnes and Noble and places like that, and we place it in a niche audience with a niche audience, and it's easier for you to access and easier for you to purchase. So when you go to speakupsis.com/bookshelf to get her book, I will not receive any parts of those monies. Everything goes to Ashalee. Okay. So I like to make sure that everybody knows that, so that you feel very comfortable and confident by visiting speakupsis.com/bookshelf. Now that you know that, go get a book. Yeah. There are like 25 people watching.
Wow.
She should get 25 new books.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you. She should get some orders tonight. Go buy the book. It's a good book. All right, I'm gonna get off my, you know. I get bossy at this part. You know
I
why?
love it.
Because it is important for us to support one another.
Yeah.
It just is. You are a young, beautiful, woman of color who has written an amazing book, and we should support that.
Yeah.
Not just with our words, not just with our prayers and our praises and our congratulations, but we should support that with our money, right? So I encourage everyone to go buy a book. If you already have the book, buy another book and gift it to someone else.
There you go.
There you go. So Ashalee, this has been an amazing conversation. You are beautiful. I'm so happy that you came into this space with me tonight. But before I let you go, I always give my guests the opportunity to have the last word. Is there anything that you can share with the people watching that will encourage them or edify them in their journey?
Sure. I would really love to say that if you have a desire, a dream, if there's something that has been tugging at your heart to do, don't ignore it. Don't tell yourself that you can't. Go after it And if it is that you feel stuck in whatever it is that you are doing, take the time to evaluate yourself and look at what else you can do that will allow you to feel more fulfilled, and be encouraged to look to your creator. The God who created you will show you the purpose that he created you for. He just wants you to take a moment to acknowledge him, seek him, and then everything else will fall into place.
There
That's
you
it.
have it. And I'm done. Thank
Yep.
you so much, Ashley.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome, sweetheart. You're beautiful. And you
Thank
are
you.
now a part of our Speak Up Sis family. So anytime you need anything, all you have to do is just say so, and we will be there to help you. So as you
Awesome.
continue your journey, just reach out all the way to Georgia in the U.S. And just ask, and
Yeah.
we will help you in whatever way we can. Okay.
Awesome.
All
Awesome.
right.
Thank
That's
you so
what's up.
much.
You are so welcome. So, everyone, I'd like to thank every single one of you for showing up tonight and supporting Ashley, as well as Speak Up Sis Talk Show. We are here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to present new independent and self-published authors to you. Please don't let this be the last time you visit us. If you are not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that right now and become a part of our Speak Up Sis family. Until next week, you all have a wonderful evening. And don't forget to open up your mouth and speak up. Good night.